Thank you for browsing page 121. Today we're going to jump into Traveler Solo. This is from Zozer Games, and it is designed to be Traveler compatible, specifically Traveler 2nd Edition, although you could play it with any edition of Traveler that is 2x6. You could also play it with any Cepheus game that's 2x6. But Traveler has this on their website as one of the new offerings, and so it's in conjunction with Zozer. And Zozer always makes a good product. These are the guys that brought us Hostile and have lots of really good stuff. So we're going to take just a brief look at Solo. And it is written by Paul Elliott. And we've got some fine Ian Stead artwork. And then we've got the table of contents. These little blue areas are interactive on my computer, but they're not interactive on my tablet. My tablet's an older tablet. I got this one during the lockdowns. And it's showing its signs of wear, and it was not brand new when I first got it. So I'm not too surprised that these links don't work on the tablet, but they do work on my computer. So what we get in here is how to solo. You want to play Traveler by yourself or any Cepheus game by yourself. How do you do it? Now, please note, this is 2nd edition solo from Zozer. I have the first, but I haven't read that in about a year and a half. And I did not reread it before coming to this video. So this will not be a compare and contrast video with 1st edition. It's going to be simply what 2nd edition offers you. So how to solo. It shows you how to play a game if you have no one else to join in. I used to do a lot of solo gaming when I was a newer DM or GM for any game system. So I got used to the mechanics. I would actually set up usually a combat, because that's the best way, in my opinion, to learn most games mechanics. But I would set up a combat, and I would have the combat play out, and then I'd be ready when my players were there. So, and I've gotten away from doing that, and it's something I've been thinking about for the last few years of kind of reintroducing. And then this came out, and I thought, well, yeah, why not? And not only am I thinking of doing some solo game work, I'm actually thinking of doing a solo campaign that I would film and release semi-regular portions of. So let me know if there's any interest in that, because that's going to be a lot of work, and frankly, if there's not much interest, I'm not going to bother. But we have the table of contents where it talks about how to build your character. You just use your character. You make it however you would make it in the game that you're talking about. The exception being they do not suggest you use the connections rule from Mongoose 2nd, where your characters know each other, and because they know each other, you get an extra skill here and there. They have a different version of that. Now, I'm also not going to page through the entire book because, frankly, I want to leave some stuff out so you have a reason to pick the book up. You get a look at the task resolution that would be per the game, how to build plot, and then what kind of campaign you would have. You could have campaign 1, which is just travelers, 2, star traders, 3, scouts, which is the one I'm really interested in right now, 4, naval officers. I'm thinking of doing a full campaign of naval officers, so that may get some interest from me. Salvagers or mercenaries. That's an interesting one, too. You could set up a whole mercenary campaign to be played by yourself. The neat thing about these rules is, well, it says why solo, because you just don't have the ability for getting together with your friends, or for whatever reason you can't game online. I find personally gaming online to be kind of challenging in some cases, simply because I am colorblind. And I can't always see everything that's on the screen. And unfortunately, if I'm the only one looking at the screen, I don't know what I'm not seeing. So that can be a little dicey. I've played online a few times, and I've had a little bit of trouble with it. It's one of the reasons I don't GM online. But you can go ahead and set up your story, how you're going to play, and what you're going to do. Now, the neat thing about this, as opposed to some of the other solo rules I've read over the years, is that this has actually got more of a... it's stressing more of a party, a crew, rather than just one character. They realize and acknowledge in the rules that you probably will favor one character over the other. That character will be you, see the air quotes. But they're recommending that you actually have a crew, and that way you can build some interactions between yourself and the other members of your crew, which are kind of player characters, and then, of course, with non-player characters as well. And I kind of like some of their resolution systems. So it recommends here playing a group of characters, then it talks about the campaigns that I've already mentioned. And then it says clearly, if you don't want to play one of the campaigns they have, play whatever you want. And you can use elements, different tables and rolling things, from the different campaigns. So if I want a really good sensor readout and I'm running a merchant's campaign, I can simply refer to the rules for the scouts and take a look at the rules there. Also combat and space combat and such. How to build your plot and your storylines, and how you're going to do resolution. And they recommend that you use resolution to be kind of random, because of course if you're the game master and there's a bunch of people sitting around the table playing, you can surprise them with plot twists and different things that are going to go on. But you can't really do that if you're running the game by yourself. So they recommend that you roll and let the random factor kind of be introduced, and that can drive your campaign in directions you wouldn't even think. I've never run a game where the players haven't taken the game somewhere I didn't think about. And that's one of the fun things. And that's always been one of the limiters on playing solo. So how many characters do you want? It depends on what ship you're going to run. If you're doing a scout ship, you could have as few as 2, normally about 4. But they don't all have to be part of your party. 1 or 2 can be non-player characters. However you want to do it. And it says here, no connections. But it continues on in the character creation. It's got new life event tables, some nice interior artwork, and then task resolution, and then interpreting success or failure based on your effect. Effect, of course, is Traveler from 2nd edition, from other too, but how well you succeeded at a roll. Do you do, you're 6 above the target roll, or are you below the roll? And that's the effect in Traveler 2nd edition. That also adds to damage for your to-hit roll. If you roll a to-hit roll that's over your base number, you may get some bonus damage. Here it talks about how you succeed and you get yes and amazingly, so maybe there's some bonus to that. And then in a 4 or 5 effect, you succeed, but with an extra positive twist. A 1, 2, or 3 effect, simple default, yes, without any twists or factors. Yes, the simple default, yes, without any added twists or factors. Yes, 0. Yes, but the answer is yes, but there is a negative twist to the answer. That's if you hit the number exactly. So if my number is 8, and with all modifiers and dice throw, I hit an 8, I get maybe a negative thing to it. If I miss it by 1, I don't succeed, but maybe there's a positive twist, and then so on. So I thought that was a nice little table. There are lots and lots of charts with this. That's okay. That's what you're going to need. And as I was reading through this, I thought, I should really look at maybe making up some kind of GM screen for myself, printing out various tables and then putting them on. They took care of that for me. As well as getting this core rulebook, you get a fillable player character sheet, a ship sheet, and you get a cheat sheet, which is about 3 pages of all the various tables you're going to need. So you're pretty much ready to go once you have this guy. And then it gives you a couple exercises of how you would do some situations by yourself. Yes and no questions. I like this. If it's just a simple yes or no, does the vehicle start? I throw a 6-sider. No, and? No, it doesn't start, and I blew out the engine. Or on a 6, yes, and it not only starts, but it's got a full tank of gas. So different little things, little quirks that you might not think of if you were just playing a solo game. This makes you think about it. It also says there are times you don't throw dice. There are times you just say, yes, the crew is able to achieve orbit. You don't do anything about it. Now, if the crew is under dramatic fire and have taken damage and they're trying to achieve orbit, that could be different. And here is Ask the D6. This reminded me of the old Ask the Magic 8-Ball. Those were around when I was a kid, and you'd know, ask later, or whatever the answer would be. I haven't seen them. One of my sons had a Magic 8-Ball, actually. I don't remember if it was my oldest son or my son Adam. But one of them had it for a while, but it started leaking, and that's pretty much what they always did. So ask the D6. So if you are succeeding and you throw a 1, you don't succeed, and it's bad, bad, bad. Oh my gosh, the vehicle, the transmission drops out of the thing. Or are you honest, good, and dependable? And this could be also for people, how people are. So maybe okay but quirky, that kind of stuff. And sometimes you just decide. And that's what I will be doing if I run this solo and I film it. There will be times I'm just going to say, no, I want the story to go forward in this direction that I've already been pushed. So I'm just going to say, yes, I do achieve orbit. Yes, I do make it to the jump point, and I make jump. There are going to be times that you just decide, just like in real gaming. And then inspiration tables. You take 2 words off of these tables. So if I rolled a 6 and a 1, it would be contingency. And if I rolled another 6 and 1 for the urban, it would be parasite. So it's a contingency parasite. What does that mean? Do I want to use that? Do I want to change it? You can do whatever you want. Inspiration list number 2, how to build plot and the passage of time. Random encounters. This is just really nice. It's law level checks, non-player characters. And I have found when I've done solo games on my own, I haven't done one in a long, long time, I've also found that it adds to my preparation and thinking about my future games. So it's a good thing all the way around. But this is about as far as I'm going to go. Relationship is interesting. The relationship table. What is your relationship with the person? If you rolled a 3-3, open jealousy. You're jealous of their achievements or their looks or whatever. But then we get into the campaigns, and that's where I'm pretty much going to stop. So we have storylines, and then we're running into the campaigns and what I want to do with the campaigns. And then I have at the back of this book some blank sheets that I can print out for non-player characters and some other information. And then, of course, I have those extra fillable sheets that come with the set. So this is a pretty nice acquisition. I want to say it was $12. I would have to double check that. I'm going to attach a link. I don't remember because I bought it with a couple other things. I remember it was very reasonable for about a 150-page count with nice artwork and very well written. I'm very excited to have this. I'm very excited to possibly showing some Traveler stuff on the channel in the near future. So again, please leave comments below if you're interested in anything like this, where I would just do a solo campaign with a few characters. And I don't know how long it would run. 2, 3 episodes, 20, I don't know. That would really depend on everybody's response to it. Because as I said, these are going to be a fair amount of work. And I've done a lot of different features, especially for Traveler, that just haven't gotten the traction I thought they'd get. So if this were to be one of those, I would not pursue it. So let me know if you're interested. But I do recommend this highly. I'm very happy to have it in my library. Again, from Zozer Publishing, zozergames.com or DriveThruRPG. And Zozer has some other great stuff too. These are the folks that gave us the hostile setting, which you absolutely could do for this, although there is hostile solo also, which I also have. So I recommend this one highly. I think this was a nice collaboration between Traveler, or Mongoose rather, and Zozer. And I'm excited to have it, and I'm excited to get started on it. So please leave your comments below. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Tell your friends, still growing the channel. Please take a look at the Patreon, see if you can help me out there. And that's all I've got for today on page 121. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.